Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, back again with a thing on fishing flea markets, buying used tackle, and trying to make you aware of some of the opportunities and bargains that are out of there. Yesterday I was in the middle of putting together some Mitchell 300s. Many of you know that I acquired a large stock of those from a tackle shop that went out of business. And when I get a spare moment or two, I like to clean them up and put them together and get them ready for resale. But yesterday I was just browsing Facebook Marketplace over a cup of coffee, and what I saw there was interesting enough to have me make a call and go out and acquire a lot of fishing tackle. That's a lot, 2 words, but it's also a lot in the pure quantity of things. But this tackle was advertised for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. It was local, and as you can see in the background here, just off to my left, fishing rods and reels. And I don't normally purchase the rods because they're cumbersome, and I really don't, most of my customers have the rods and they're not looking for them. So but this one just came at such a price that I just figured I have to take it. 10 rods and reels, two rods without the reels. So why don't I just give you a look, as we tend to do. We'll talk a little bit about each one, and we'll see what it is. So it's a combination of light tackle and saltwater tackle. They're on a bay and an estuary, and you can use both. And in this case, this is one of the lighter ones. This is a South Bend rod, and this is a Quantum ultralight. This one doesn't seem to be working too well, but I think that what we have here is just a case where the line is all tangled up. But we're going to take this one apart. We'll do a video on this one. And a lot of the equipment that I acquire is simply for that, just to show you the videos. And then in some cases I'll hand them off to kids, or there'll be somebody out there that'll want to purchase these. But in this case, we'll start with a 5-foot pole, Quantum ultralight South Bend pole. Next up then, we'll stay with the lighter stuff maybe. This is one that caught my eye when I made the call. There's usually something out there that says come on and take a look. This one is the Abu Black Max. It's a bait caster. I think I've done a video on this, but maybe we'll take this one apart because I want to clean all of my reels up, and I want to make sure that they're serviced for resale, just so that we don't have any trouble with my customers. So I have a Black Max reel. I have a Black Hawk. No, Black Max, I'm sorry, Black Max rod. So it came from the company this way. This is a 6-foot graphite one. This one's perfect for the fishing conditions in my area, whether it's flounder or summer flounder or fluke or small bluefish. This is just a nice one, as well as taking it into the ponds for bass. So we'll clean that one up as one of the videos to do. Then we've got this one, which is, interestingly enough, it's a Shakespeare ugly stick with a Shakespeare reel on it. But I came to find out as I was looking at the other tackle that this comes with another rod, but that's okay. So I have a 5-foot ugly stick. We have the Tiger reel on it. We just did the series on Shakespeare, the company history. I didn't have any reels to repair or show you at that time from a take apart and service. These are good reels for the price. And we'll take this one apart, and I'll show you what the Shakespeare modern reels are. And of course it's on an ugly stick, and one of the fellows that's a viewer corrected me. I made an error in my video. Ugly sticks have been around since 1976. I believe on my history of the company I said 1996. So nice ugly stick, nice Tiger reel there. So that one will certainly go back into use. And then we have a getting a little bit bigger now. This is a Rhino. Rhino is part of the Zebco brands. This is a Rhino Rod. It says Zebco Rhino on it. And what we have on the reel is a Gander Mountain reel. So I don't think I've done a Gander Mountain reel. Gander Mountain, of course, is out of business. It resurfaced as Gander Outdoors, but it did go bankrupt. The reels were always pretty solid, and we'll try and take this one apart. We'll show you how this one goes as well. Now, one of the things I did as I was going about purchasing these, I wanted to make sure that they all worked. Not that I was getting greedy or anything, but it's always nice to know what you're getting into before you go too far. So speaking of Zebco, here's another Zebco. This one's a Zebco Slingshot Reel. It's on a Zebco Slingshot pole. Many of the rods and reels that were sold by Zebco come in these packages, combinations, and they're on the lower end of the pricing. And we'll talk about Zebco as a company history in one of my upcoming videos. But this is a nice one. It's a 6-foot rod, about a 30 size reel, and 1 ball bearing. We'll take it apart. We'll show you what it's made of, and what the history is will be one of the subjects for our history of fishing reel companies. Next up then, and remember this is all $50 here. This one is the other one that caught my mind in addition to the Black Max. This one is also an Abu Garcia Max Reel. This is the Max Z. It's a 30 size reel. This one doesn't even look like it's been used. It still has the that little snap tie on there that comes when they sell them in combinations. This one's put on an Ozark Trail outdoor equipment rod. It's a 6-foot rod. I don't know the brand Ozark Trail, but I do know Abu and the Max line, and this is the Max Z, about a 30 size reel. Again, we'll take that one apart for you. It spins nice and easily. Take that apart and show you what that one's made of. All right, moving up a little bit bigger in terms of the rods and reels. So I have a 2-piece rod here. It's a 10-foot side. I mentioned it for both saltwater and freshwater. This one is probably one of the ones that Shakespeare just became known for. If you're starting out in this in saltwater fishing or deep lake fishing, this is a 10-foot combination. It happens to be on a Bass Pro rod. It's a Bass Pro Cat Max. This is set up perfectly for cat fishing. It's got the heavy line to it. It's a 70 size reel. The reels themselves probably retailed for $30 to $40. Solid, dependable reel, 1 ball bearing, and these things are pretty much bulletproof and well worth the price paid if you like fishing for channel catfish and the like, or in our case on the surf, it would be the striped bass and the like. Okay, here's another one. This is a 7-foot rod. This is a Shakespeare Tiger Rod, and this is the Shakespeare Tiger Reel. Different color, but same reel as I just showed you in the black. And as I mentioned, there's another rod here that's mismatched, but it has it's a Shakespeare Tiger Rod where the black one actually belonged as opposed to the ugly stick. Okay, this one is definitely for ocean. This is a 12-foot. So big I don't even think I can get this on here. This is a 12-foot with a 60 size quantum optics reel. It's paired properly. The 70 Shakespeare could actually go on this one. This is a Shakespeare pole. It's the Shakespeare Alpha pole. So I'm beginning to think here that 70 size Alpha belonged on this pole as a combination. Somebody switched it over to the 60 side optics. The optics reel was another reel that's probably around $35. And the quantum line is also in that Zebco group. Oops. And probably purchased at the same time. Oh, okay, only two or three more here. Crazy, right? For $50. Here's one I know nothing about, which is all the reason in the world to do a video. This one is a Chinese reel. It's one of these things I'm sure you see on the internet for probably, $18 or $20 or so. It says it's got 6 ball bearings, I think. 11 ball bearings. So an 11 ball bearing reel that you typically see on the internet for about $20 or $25. As soon as a 40 size reel, it's on that Shakespeare Tiger pole. So I'll probably swap the Tiger reel over to this one to keep the combination the way it was. And we'll do an examination of what these 11 ball bearing Chinese reels are. We'll see what we find out. Last two on the rods then. I have 2 rods without reels. This is a master rod. It's an 8-foot surf rod, and looks like something happened here with the reel or something, but the rod is a nice lightweight reel in good condition. And one of the ones that also caught my attention, and this one's almost impossible to see, and that's unfortunate. This is a Diode Rod. It's old school. It's had some replacements on it, but this is a 10-foot solid blank rod. And I personally fish with these. I love these. And we'll see if we can't find the right reel for it. And maybe put that up in my rafters and go fishing with that one. So $50 for the entire lot. 10 reels and 12 poles. All of them working, all of them in good condition. So, I mean, that was enough to buy just as it is. When I was leaving, they gave me 2 tackle boxes. The fellow that was doing this said he just doesn't have time for fishing anymore. These were sitting outside, and he just said, you know what, it's time to just let this stuff go and go on to other pursuits. Now, I didn't even notice this, but there's two little containers up top on this box. Just curious if anything's in there. There's not. So let's go explore the tackle purchases then. So as you can see, it was sitting outside. These are wet. So I imagine that the rain got into these boxes and that, but there's some bass equipment up top here, some little spinners, there's a rattle trap, a couple more spinners. We'll have to go through this. This is a deadly lure up here in the Northeast. This is a Castmaster. The hooks are going to have to be replaced on that. That's one of the problems with, I guess, this stuff sitting in the water. It's also a horrible smell to this, so this box is going to have to get washed out. Looks like we got some Meps spoons here, and little tin shiner there. And let's see what else we got underneath here. Oh, so got the grub pack. This looks like it's sealed. So if it's sealed, we'll use it. If not, we'll toss it. But this looks like a bonanza in terms of plugs here. This looks new. It's a Rapala reel. Risto wrap. It's new. Unfortunately, it's soaked. We may have to change the hooks on that one. There's another one that's in the original packaging as well. This is the Rattle-N Wrapper. This is a great one for bass and then sore. Wow, look at all of these. This looks like modern art here, doesn't it? We have a whole bunch of plugs here. We got a nice bass plug, got another rattler, another bass plug, another rattler, a couple of surf plugs. Can't tell exactly what the brands are there. Here's an Excalibur minnow, some smaller minnows. We're not done yet, so let's see. It looks like there's at least half a dozen there. Here's another segment of those. Here's a nice popper. Again, this one's probably Rapala. Another one up top here, that may be Yozuri, I'm not sure. A couple of little mud bug kind of things. So looks like I got 15 or so of these plugs. There's 2 more in there as well. So that tackle box is worth the $50 just by itself without all the rods and reels that we just showed. And a lot of folks wonder so what am I going to do with all this? I obviously have more equipment than I'm ever going to use fishing. And a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll pass some of this stuff off. They'll go to kids learning to fish, Boy Scout organizations, things like that. And this one's just crazy. This might as well be a suitcase. This is a Plano box that they also gave me. I didn't see much in here quickly, but when I'm negotiating a deal like this and I know I got my money covered, I really don't spend much time. This is a double tray box. It looks like it needs to be terribly washed. Again, it's probably been sitting outside. Let's see. There's a little S1 size little shiner for bluefish. Some hooks which will probably get tossed. Some rigs which will probably get tossed. There's a jig head that seems fine. Looks like I got a lot of mold and junk in the bottom of this one. This is just the example of just sitting around not taking care. So he hasn't fished this in quite some time. It's pretty obvious that there's a little minnow net. Quite obvious that this stuff wasn't taken care of. Here's some soft baits. We'll take a test on that. Those may or may not work. They're shads. And just a bunch of line. So my message on that is I think I got a box set of this one. It's probably $5 or $10 worth of tackle in here, and there's a lot of trash. Here's another little shining spoon. Here's line. So this is I never recommend just grabbing line from flea markets or anything and putting it on your reel. Line is cheap enough. You don't know how old this line is. It's subject to UV wear. It's never a good thing to keep line for more than one season. That should just be tossed. Don't take a chance that you're going to lose your big fish because you have old line on there and you're trying to save a couple of dimes. Here's another one. You can just see the mess that the water is made from this. This is Stren, and it's a shame. If it was nice and clear stuff, it probably would be good. It's 20-pound test, which is what we would be using here. And again, just a whole bunch of wet stuff here, so I'm not going to spend any more time there. Here's another one. Here's a bass rig that might be able to be solved. Here's another Stren box. But I'm not going to spend any more time with this. So the message here is that we got our money's worth for sure. When you're searching the internet, in this case this was Facebook Marketplace, try and determine that you've got the value of the price that they're asking before you make a trip, because they're usually, you know, not right around the corner. They're usually a trip that you need to take to get out there to complete the sale. Go with the intentions that you're going to buy. I mean, there's no sense going down there to you know, to take a ride and then figure out it's not what you're looking for. So in the case that I had, I saw the two Abus. I knew I probably had the money there, and when they advertised it was 12 poles and 10 reels. I knew anything else was basically extra. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope some of these things have helped you in terms of an understanding of how to buy used tackle in the marketplace, what to look for, and a couple of hints along the way in terms of where to do that shopping. And we'll continue this series if I find the next great sale. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing some of the reels that I showed you being rebuilt on my channel to show you how to take apart and service them. And if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe. Subscribers make my channel, and I need to continue to grow channel subscriptions in order to be successful. So with that, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Thank you for watching.